Hello, it's June 22nd, Thursday. Cheers. Today is my brother-in-law, Floyd Norman's birthday. He's 88. Floyd Norman, the living legend, Disney legend, literally, the first black man to be hired as an animator at Disney. He's still here, 88 years old. Wonderful guy and inspiring. I love Floyd very much. Cheers to Floyd, 88 and going strong. So yesterday, I did have a visit with Blake, but we didn't start recording. He had mentioned the week before that he might be ready to get started on the next album. And when he came by today, he had some stress. Needed to take his truck in, so he didn't have a lot of time to hang out. But we used the time well in a preparatory way by doing some listening. And there's a lot of music that I haven't had a chance to play for Blake, and he's interested. So the way we went about it yesterday was I said, okay, Blake, well, while you're here, why don't you pull something, pick something specific or take a chance, just take a chance, And so he pulled a couple things, and then it led me to pull some things to play. And let me make sure to get, okay. So he pulled this Jericho for no particular reason except that it was just sitting where he could see it, and had no idea what this would be like. Jericho, rock band from Israel. And we played the first track of this, and it was enjoyable. I was able to discuss the musicality of the band and how it was pretty busy. Hard rocking, but also could be considered slightly proggy. That was pretty good. And then I'd shown you Weed recently, so I won't show it again. But on the rock trip, I went from Jericho to Weed for him, and we enjoyed that. Sweet Morning Light. After that, I said, "Well, pull another one. Let's keep going. Let's pull another one." So after that, he went up and specifically pulled this next album. Gil Evans. He didn't recognize the cover. Of course, we all love Gil Evans. But this is a live album recorded in 1976. It looks like it was recorded at a thing called the Jazz Jamboree, possibly in Poland. It's a Polish album, Polish release. So we listened to part of the Billy Harper track Priestezo, and this was enjoyable. Talked about some of the solos. Lou Soloff on trumpet on here, and then Tony Levin's brother Pete Levin is on here. George Adams, we talked about George Adams, the saxophone player who's on here. Tom Malone. So this was enjoyable, but it kind of kicked me off on a trajectory. I said, I just like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good, but let's, Pat Martino? It just hit me Pat Martino. And he didn't know Pat Martino at all, the guitarist who lost his ability to play, some kind of illness, and then he taught himself everything. But Joyous Lake, This really caught Blake's attention, particularly the drumming of Kenwood Denard. Very busy and funky, but distinct. He has kind of a shuffly thing going on with the way he plays funk. So this was good. Then I thought to myself, okay, how much Eddie Henderson has this trumpet player Blake heard, and not enough. So I played Inside Out. This made his head spin because Eddie Henderson is a fantastic trumpeter, but a distinct one who does things that are like flights. He takes these things like he's flying, he's heading upwards, and it's awesome. And it really caught Blake's attention, everything about the album, the rhythms, but the horn playing in particular. It inspired him. He said, man, I'm going to have to go and practice after I get done with my business today. And then the last thing I played for him, which I'm surprised I hadn't played for him yet, because this is one of my top albums of all time. Benny Maupin's The Jewel in the Lotus. Very zen. Very opposite of these other albums I played. This is very zen. That's the word. It's beyond calm. It's very spiritual too. This is just an amazing, fantastic album. And it blew him away. His comment after listening to the first track on side 2 is like, why hasn't anybody ever played this for me before? Why haven't I heard this music before? I told him that's what I've been doing most of my life, is turning people onto this music, because most people are listening to crap comparatively. And I'll say that and say it and mean it. People listen to a lot of stuff that's crap comparatively. So he left here in a ball of inspiration. It was wonderful. I hear you where people are saying we don't know how you can follow up, or if you can beat the muse. The idea isn't to beat the music, the muse. The idea is to keep making music. And I already have several tracks, a continuation of the material that ended up on the muse. So we're already there. The trick is how the musicians respond to it. That was, I think, the beauty, or is the beauty of the muse, is how Cubby and Blake brought their energy to it. So we can do it again. We can do more. That's really what it is. We can do more. Okay? Cheers. I received a record to review yesterday from someone I've never heard of, didn't know anything about this person. The person is a musician and an author, and he had wrote me and asking if he could send his latest. So I got this from Felix Lopez, and he's calling this RebRo. It looks like it backwards is the word order. Eons. That cover really doesn't tell you anything. I guess that's him as a kid. But let me go ahead and complete the picture here before I talk about the music. He sent me some tea. Thank you. That's the second person to send me tea in the last week. But apparently, Felix is an author and a spiritual healer or former Buddhist who is, well, I looked him up and then, okay, so we'll get back to this. They're connected. The book, Mindfulness, The Alchemy of Now. I talk about mindfulness. And there's a connection. So, this album, he just released it, apparently. Just released it. It's a limited edition of only 300 copies. I must show it. It's beautiful, clear vinyl. It's really pressed nicely. It's a good pressing. So when this came in yesterday, via UPS. I played it in the other room, out in the other room on the good turntable, just to get started. Really nice pressing. There's a connection between the book, his lifestyle, his practice, and this music. Like even the titles on here: Arahant, Detachment, Kapunka, Intimacy with 1,000 Things, Backward Flowing Time, Maitri. It's I listened to one side of it twice. It's nice. Now my first impression is that the sound of this music is more casual to me and flowing than necessarily spiritual, for what I feel coming from it. It's real positive, and there's electronic aspects to it. There's also the acoustic, ambience, or sounds. It's very positive. I think that's what I can say about the general vibe of this album. Is very positive, and I dare say it's something that will grow on me, and I'd like to encourage people to check it out. The book is good. Now, I'm into mindfulness, and when I was working at the as a mental health specialist, in my continuing studies, I learned about mindfulness and other techniques. This book is I already read part of it, and it's easy to read. It's based on his own personal story as needing something. Like most of us in the Western world, we're caught up in the static of every day, of acquiring, of just being caught up in what we used to call the rat race, and a lot of times not happy at all and just lost. And so discovering the technique and practice of mindfulness, as he describes here, it's a good thing. I'll leave the link to his website, because this is not on Discogs, and apparently the only way to get this is through his website. In this negative world that we live in, I'm all about wanting to encourage more positivity and things that are helpful. I love all kinds of music, including things like even black metal and stuff. But we are way too enthralled and entranced by the darkness on this planet. Even as a kid, as I was starting to absorb the growing and maturing of rock and roll, I was frankly dismayed how people are so easily entranced by negative things and by tragedy and darkness, and how rock and roll made the darkness cool. Only to a degree am I into that. I'm really not into that. I'm into good music and expression. We need more stuff, to me, like this positivity and this idea of this album being, an encouragement to be more centered and spiritual. Interesting that it came on the same day that I played this for my friend Blake. Now, to me, this is real spiritual. I mean, it's just coming off in waves that are unmistakable to me. So this doesn't have the same effect, but it's positive. And I dare say I need to listen to it some more to get the effect, okay? To really get the effect. But thank you, Felix, for sending that to me, reaching out. And I'll leave the link, and hopefully you'll have some sales, because he was saying this is the only way to get the album is through his website. It's not on Discogs. And it is good. It is good. It's well played. It is. All the stuff in it is well played. So thank you again, Felix. And he sent me tea. I love it. This got played yesterday. Faust, Robbie Vando. Not only do I love this cover and the hue, the color, I really like this Faust album. This is a good one. This one rocks. This one is real good, and it comes with a 10-inch. Lied eine Matrosen. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. I love the band Faust. I really do. And thankfully I've had some interaction with them. Never seen them, but I've had some correspondence with the band. Love this band. Faust. Faust, Faust, Faust. Anything else down here? Yes. One more album that I bought last weekend at Grapefruit in the used section. I bought this when it came out on CD after seeing the video. I think it was on MTV's Amp, where they were showing all the drum and bass and stuff. But they would show that video from DJ Shadow's album Introducing. I really liked it, so I got it. It got reissued, and they had this reissue, and so I grabbed it. And this is worth it. This is kind of like a modern day classic, you know, his technique on the spinning, the scratching, and then his choices of samples. There's several cool things on here, many things I don't recognize, but that was one that I got recently. Is that it? Yep. So that's what I want to share today, Thursday. As always, folks, I'm hoping for the best for everyone, hoping for good news, because you know we're going to get bad news, so we hope for some good news every day. Hope that something good happens for you. Take care.